Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a great second-round matchup of playoff soccer between the Hampton Talbots and your Plum Lady Mustangs. The Talbots are a 7 seed this year, while the Mustangs are a 2 seed. The Talbots were 12-3 in the regular season and are coming off of a first-round victory against Thomas Jefferson, 4-1. A player of the Mustangs are going to try to keep at bay tonight is Sophia Kelly, a forward for Hampton. Kelly is a three-sport star for the Talbots, excelling in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse, and having college offers in all three sports. As for the Mustangs, they finished with a 17-1 record in the regular season, going undefeated in section. Plum has talent all over the field, no one more notable than Caitlin Killinger, a junior forward who paces the Plum offense. If the Mustangs are going to advance to the semifinals, there's a good chance Killinger puts up a goal or two tonight. As we get ready to start this matchup, what are your thoughts, Jake?
You know, I mean, the Mustangs have been playing great all season long. I think we all know that. And I feel almost every single person on this team has had a lot of playing time in very big games. You know, they're usually a winning team every single year. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Mustangs come on top. You know, they were undefeated in their section, like you said. And it's just been really cool to see. And, yeah, like you said before, they have talent all around the field. And I don't know, I just wouldn't be surprised if they come on top here.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Michael?
This Plum side's pretty good. They're stacked in the back line. You got defensive leader Kaylee Simke, who's captain, junior captain. She's going to lead that defense. I don't think they give up a goal tonight, but obviously they all keep Sophia Kelly at bay. That's mainly the main goal because Caitlin and their offense are going to have chances, so hopefully all goes well. And we're off.
It looks like it'll go toward Plum here.
Great defense there by Emily Barat and Nina Kite.
Looks like they're going to give it off.
Kaylee Simke controlling the ball at the back. Passes to Emily Barat. Heavy touch by Emma in midfield.
It looks like they're going to get around midfield here. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and it looks like it is going to be the Mustangs' ball.
Tori threw the ball into Kaylee Simke. Kaylee's going to dribble it up to about the 30. Passes it to Cami Collins.
It will be out of bounds again. It looks like the Mustangs retain possession here.
Throw in Cami Collins. Mustangs make a push towards midfield here.
Looks like they're regaining their focus here.
Nina Kite.
Big touch by Nina Kite. Throw in Hampton are on the 30-yard line.
Looks like they're keeping it in positive territory.
Kaylee struggling a bit to keep the ball there. She regains it. Bounces out wide to Cameron Rogers. Hampton's now going the other way. They're controlling the ball. Long ball to nobody. Kaylee not controlling it. Goalie picks it up.
It was a nice kick by Marston there.
Plum throw in their own 35-yard line.
Again, it looks like they're going to stay on their side of the field.
Able with an attempted through ball around the 40. Hampton's goalie collects it. Big punt out. Skips past Plum. Plum regains it though.
Great ball to Nina Kite.
Looks like Nina Kite may have been injured on the play.
Yeah, she's a bit shaken up.
Looks like she just got the wind knocked out of her.
I believe they're still going to give it to Hampton here.
As she runs back down the sideline, you can tell Nina Kite is definitely still feeling that one.
It looks like they're just going to give it to the goalie here.
The communication on that should have been a bit better, but at the end of the day, Marston still had the ball.
Looks like they're maintaining on their side of the field again here, trying to find some space.
Yeah, Plum's moving around in Hampton's end. Caitlin on the ball. Beats one. She's driving down the 20, 10. Hampton center back slides over with a big stop.
Tries to find
Ball still in
Cami
play.
Rogers in the box.
Ooh.
Oh, just wide. Nice shot there by Ava Waleski.
Obviously, it's early in the game. We haven't seen too much, but I like how the Mustangs are keeping control. They're not letting Hampton retain possession too much, and they're just trying to, you know, keep possession during this game.
Yeah, despite the missed shot there, a lot of this game so far has been played on Hampton's side of the field, which is something you like to see if you're a Mustangs fan. It means Mustangs are controlling the ball for the most part, and even when Hampton gets it, they don't have it for long.
I would like to see Plum's wingers go one-on-one a bit more. I feel like they'll have a lot more success on the wingers.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we definitely have the speed, and, you know, as we've seen all these people doing really well, and I definitely think the Mustangs can beat a lot of people. Looks like Hampton's trying to move the ball downfield. Trying to fight for it, but it looks like it's going to go out of bounds. They're going to throw it in. Looks like the Mustangs are trying to get it back, trying to avoid an early goal here. It looks like Hampton's going to retain possession again here. Looks like the Mustangs have it.
Cameron Rogers there. It's going to be Hampton's throw at about the 15-yard line.
Looks like it's going to be out again. So, Tommy, I know you were a former soccer player. How do you think the Mustangs need to do to start out to get something going here?
I think they need to use their, as Mike said, the wingers a lot. As Caitlin Killinger dribbles the ball up.
Looks like she's going to fight through some tough defense there.
They also need to use their main striker there, Marissa Liberto. She hasn't been touching the ball as much as she normally has in this first half of the half. But, yeah, if they use Caitlin Killinger and Marissa Liberto, I think that we can get a good score here and go into the locker room with the dub.
Ball played in deep here by Hampton. Not able to keep it in bounds. That's going to be Plum's ball. Throwing for Plum here, Nina Kite.
Great defense there to intercept the ball by Cami Collins.
Deep ball in by Hampton, collected by Marston with no problem.
We have Matt Dish joining us on the headset now. Matt, what do you think of the game so far?
It's definitely a very close game. Plum's kept possession most of the game. Plum looks pretty good out there. Caitlin Killinger had a nice drive up top, crossed it in, just couldn't finish. Hopefully we'll see a goal from Plum pretty soon.
All right, on cue for Matt. Plum's offense looking to move it into Hampton's territory.
Up to Caitlin Killinger.
It's a really good ball there by Caitlin.
And just like that, a goal scored by Ava Waleski.
Through ball by Caitlin Killinger. Placed right on Ava's foot, cuts in the middle. Right side of the net. Keeper had no chance.
Goal scored by number 10, Ava Waleski. She's only just a sophomore. And stuff like that just shows you why Plum girls soccer has been so good for so long, is because they have young people like that making plays in playoff games. It seems like they always have talent no matter what age.
and they aren't afraid to shoot from the 10, maybe, or the 20, maybe the 25-yard line. As you can see there, Ava Wolski shot from, I think, the 15 to the 20, maybe the 17, and it was a great shot.
I mean, as Michael knows, whenever you get to this point in the playoffs, most of the teams just score off set pieces with a lucky crap goal. Plum's different. We'll dribble right up the middle, pass the ball, and score.
This Plum girls team has the capability to score any way, shape, or form. They have all the right pieces. And I tell you what, the chemistry that they have together is also something very overlooked. Some of these girls have been playing together for years and years, and that's something you can't. A bond together, a team you just can't break.
I know that many girls on this team, not just playing high school soccer, but I know many of them play club soccer together too. And not only do they play club soccer together, they play on a couple of good club teams. Here's a turnover by Plum.
Shot off, but saved by Megan Marston.
That's a really nice save there by Megan Marston. Megan Marston is just a freshman, so as we said before with Ava Waleski.
Megan's a sophomore.
Sophomore, yes.
She's just a sophomore. My point still stands. She is another young player for the Mustangs doing very well.
Yeah, both their senior goalies graduated last year, and she was able to step in, and I mean, she's been doing pretty darn well, if you ask me. She has some pretty big shoes to fill, and I think she's filling them in pretty nicely.
Especially considering soccer is even her main sport. She's primarily a basketball player.
I know she has a sister, senior in our grade, who's very good at softball, so just an athletic family there.
And I do believe their younger brother coming up will be joining the football team.
And then their dad is a history teacher here up at Plum High School, so Marston's a big part of Plum and something we're glad to have.
And their mom actually owns her own fitness center, so they are they're big in the athletic community.
We just love the Marstons up here in Plum.
Can't live without the Marstons.
Oh my gosh.
Nice ball with Caitlin Killinger. Unlucky cross blocked by Hampton's midfielders.
Foul on Plum. Ball collected by Marston. Big punt around the 40-yard line. Ava Waleski on the ball. Plays it out wide to Caitlin Killinger.
Nice give and go there.
Great through ball in, splits the center backs. Picked up by Hampton's keeper.
Nice play there by Nina Kite to keep the ball in bounds.
Out to Marcela Boro, holding up the ball. Little flick back. Unfortunately did not go anywhere. Now it's out to Nina Kite.
Kite not giving up there.
Yeah, it was a good hustle play.
Great head there by Emily Barat.
Cami Collins on the ball. Good turn. Shielded the player off very well. Cami out to Caitlin on the wing.
Caitlin's going to take her right down the line.
That's a matchup Mustangs will take any day.
I believe if you put Caitlin Killinger up against any fullback in WPIAL, she's going to beat them just about
She has
every time.
very, very great speed.
Yeah, her ability to turn a corner is second to none in the WPIAL.
I feel like Hampton has had little to no possession or control this game. How about you guys?
Yeah, it almost feels like immediately after they get the ball, they're just trying to hit a couple long balls down the field, but they're not retaining possession after doing so. So their possessions are lasting a couple of seconds.
Yeah, they are playing a lot of long balls. As long balls, the Mustangs defense are just picking them up.
Great pickup by Megan Marston again.
Ball shielded off by Kaylee Simcu.
Again, goes back to trusting your players and having those great bonds and chemistry with your team right there.
Kimmy Cullen dribbling through the midfield out to Nina Kite. Swings it through the midfield. Now it's at Marissa Libero's feet, holding the ball up. Out wide to Tori Ruggiero, who's making a run out all the way back from fullback. Attempts to cross it. Unfortunately, it was blocked by Hampton.
Again, Hampton just playing it up top, picked off by Plum's defense.
It looks like they're playing off the second ball. So they're looking for the rebound off the defender. Then they're just going to play off the counter.
Nice play there by Hampton to keep the ball in bounds.
Came with a pass to Ava, who bounces it back to Marissa Liberto around the 50-yard line. Plays it through to Emma Benetham, breaking the midfield line. Now they're driving at the back line.
You know, despite the turnover, that's a very nice play by Emma Benetham to get the ball deep into Hampton side of the field.
From what I'm seeing up here, the Mustangs are doing a very good job of finding the gaps between the defensive and midfield lines. They're picking the ball up with someone on their back. They're turning, playing it out wide, and they're just getting some great opportunities. Unfortunately, just can't find that last pass to get a shot on goal or a real solid opportunity.
Nice defensive play there by Nina Kite.
Throwing for Plum on the 25-yard line in their own end. Substitution by Hampton.
Coming onto the field now is number 24, Sarah Kenst.
Ball shooted out by Plum. Plum kick. Plum goal kick.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks like Plum has some new faces on as well.
Camille Walker is on for Tori Ruggiero at right back.
Another thing that the Plum Lady Mustangs have is great depth in their field, great depth in their roster. As soon as you put on a new player, their level of play does not drop at all, going from the starters into the second string.
Yeah, it's a big positive for the Lady Mustangs. Is their team is not just 11 deep. Their team is good through and through. People always say a team's only as strong as its weakest player, and that weakest player on the Mustangs is still pretty good.
We have yet to see Annabelle. She's hurt. Yeah, she's hurt tonight. It's a lack of it's a pretty big loss. Her speed is very pivotal to the Mustangs offense. That's a big blow, but Cameron Rogers is doing pretty good filling in so far.
Yeah, Plum is kind of like a very high-level college team, you know. No matter who you put in, they're going to do well, like you guys mentioned.
Like the next man up mentality. That's what a WPIAL championship team is definitely made of.
Yeah, stuff like that's the reason they are the 2 seed in the WPIAL playoffs this year and are expected to do. They have championship hopes.
And it's not just an all-senior team, too. We have players from, I believe, sophomore all the way to seniors excelling on the team.
Bit of a scrappy play there by Hampton. Ball saw across the middle. Ball was bouncing around a bit.
That was
Lucky for
great.
the Mustangs, they got out of that unscathed.
Yeah, definitely a solid chance there for the Talbots, but luckily for the Mustangs, still a goose egg up on the scoreboard.
I mean, that's all it takes is one unlucky ball in the box, and Hampton could tie this game. Thankfully, Plum's defense is unmatched and clears the ball out.
Yeah, I agree. And, like, as you said, Plum's been playing very intense defense, and that was the main reason why Hampton didn't get that goal. They were in prime position.
Ball being fought for possession here around midfield. Looks like the Talbots are going to retain it, and
Good battle by Camille Walker on the outside.
Calling that a foul.
They will call that a foul, though, around the 30-yard line, Plum's territory.
this game's definitely getting a little physical for both teams here.
Especially in the last minute or so. Hampton's definitely going into tackles a lot harder, giving Plum a run for their money here.
Hampton has been the aggressor recently.
I mean, I think even Hampton knows that Plum probably has at least somewhat of a talent advantage, so you're going to have to come in here and give it your all, maybe be a little more physical, play a little smarter than the Mustangs, so they're really going to try and figure out what they can do to make the Mustangs tick, but Mustangs don't seem to be off at all.
Yeah, it's very similar to, like, any sport you can think of. The underdog is just going to come in and have full-on focus trying to win, and the team that's favored is just trying to maintain that and do what they do best.
Good tackle by Emma Benetham in the midfield. Now she bounces out to Cameron Rogers, who instantly is met by a Hampton player on her back. That's the way it's going to be all game. Very physical.
Yeah, Michael, you're right. I mean, it seems like this game's being played between both 30-yard lines here on the field. Like, neither team is really retaining possession very much. Neither team has really had, other than when the Mustangs did score and when Hampton had a pretty good scoring opportunity, neither team's really done much 20 minutes into this game.
Ever since that Plum goal, it's been pretty much a stalemate. Plum now retains possession after their free kick. Hampton now on the counter.
It looks like it's approaching out of bounds. They're going to keep it in.
Excellent defending by Camille Walker in the back.
Hampton throw-in.
Sought out by Emma Benetham.
Another throw in for Hampton.
Like we said earlier, Caitlin Killinger is definitely a big part of this team, but this team's talented all around. For instance, Emma Benetham's going to play Division II soccer at
University of Pittsburgh Johnstown.
Yeah, and that's no slouch to have a senior on your team going to play Division II soccer. That would be a lot of people's best player, and that just shows you how talented the Mustangs are, that we have a multitude of players like that.
Another recent commit is Tori Ruggiero, who just committed to Edinburgh. Congratulations to both of them.
That's another Division II PSAC school that's some high-level soccer that they're going to play. Just because it isn't D1 does not mean these girls are not talented. It's impressive to go anywhere like that.
They are both very pivotal parts of this team. They are the motor.
I think having senior leadership like that, talented senior leadership, is one of the many reasons the Mustangs are where they are right now.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they're probably easily one of, or if not the best, second seed, because they're 17-1, like you guys said. That's a crazy record to be a 2 seed.
I mean, that's just what happens whenever the two-time WPIAL champions are still playing at a very high level like Mars is.
They haven't lost the game this year either.
Yeah, there's a lot of people predicting that it's going to be the Mustangs and the Fighting Planets to match up for a third time this year in the WPIAL finals.
What a trilogy that would be.
Yeah, as Mustangs fans, we're hoping for a different result this time, which is definitely possible.
I mean, I don't remember the exact scores from both of the championship games the past 2 years, but both games have been a close game won by 1 or 2 goals. It's not been a complete blowout. The Lady Mustangs have kept in it for all of the games.
Yeah, for Mars being nationally ranked, at least I remember one of the years, they were considered one of the top 10 teams in the country. I think it was almost just as impressive that the Mustangs were able to make it a very good game, really gave Mars a run for their money both times. I think that speaks to the quality of program the Mustangs have, too.
I would also like to add Mars had Ellie Caulfield, who is now a freshman starter at Pitt, which is unbelievable. Kudos to her. But even losing her, they're still putting up numbers and having a very good record. So this Mars team is going to be very difficult to beat if they make it to the final.
Yeah, and any 18-0 team is going to be very difficult, and I truly believe the Mustangs have a chance with them.
Yeah, but before that happens, Mustangs are going to have to get past the Hampton Talbots, which so far tonight they're doing a pretty solid job of it as a 1-0 ball game with about 16 minutes left to go in the first half. Mustangs have played a pretty good ball game so far. It's been a matchup of two pretty equally matched teams with Plum getting an early goal.
I would also like to add there is 2 subs by Plum. Jade Taw and Tori Ruggiero are now in the game.
Again, 2 seniors, so kind of shows the depth on this team.
Foul by Jade.
Yeah, Jade isn't committed anywhere yet, but from talking to her, I know that she does want to go play college soccer somewhere, so that's yet another senior that is probably going to go play college soccer on this Mustangs team.
College Cal U has been floating around with her name, so hopefully all goes well with that.
That's another Division II PSAC school. That would be 3 Lady Mustangs just from the senior class this year that would be going and playing PSAC soccer, not to mention there was 2 or 3 last year's senior class that are playing PSAC soccer, and I bet you there's a couple in this junior class that are going to go do the same exact thing. Seems like the Mustangs pump at least a couple college commitments out every single year.
And some of the seniors that might not want to play college soccer, it definitely would be their choice to not, because I believe almost every person on this team has that ability to play at the next level.
Could not agree more. Pump by Marston.
Yeah, not even just Division II level. Like, Caitlin Killinger is going to go be something big somewhere. I think everyone here in this booth knows that.
Speaking of Caitlin on the ball, lucky turnover.
Nice play there by Nina Kite.
Out wide to Cameron Rogers. That should be a Plum throw.
You are correct, Matt. Plum throwing. Played up to Marissa Liberto.
Ball in by Cameron Rogers. Heavy touch by Ava.
Ava Waleski thinking there was some kind of foul there. So does her brother Michael.
It looks like Hampton will get the possession here. They're just trying to move the ball downfield again.
Yet again, Hampton not retaining possession of the ball very long once they finally do get it. But here's a turnover by Plum.
Hard step by Hampton's outside back. Direct ball again.
I mean, if you look at Plum playing, we'll build out of the back, we'll play into the middle, and then hopefully a through ball in. Hampton is just get the ball, direct ball up top, direct ball up top, direct ball up top. They don't care if it goes to the keeper, if it goes out of bounds. They're just looking to get the ball up and hopefully get a shot off in the box.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're just praying one of their offensive players is faster than one of Plum's defenders. They can just beat their girl and get near to the goal after a long ball.
I would like to add Hampton's fullbacks are pressing very high on their wingers and are not letting the Mustang wingers to breathe at all.
I mean, for the first time in a while, there was some serious penetration there by Hampton's offense. Shot on goal. Gobbled up by Marston. And she'll punt it to about the 35-yard line where a Hampton player will head it, and Marissa Liberto is going to go try and make a play on the ball.
Looks like the Mustangs are trying to cause a turnover.
Good step by Kaylee Simkew.
Very nice play there by Kaylee Simkew.
Played down the
Another
line to Caitlin.
Kaylee Simkew, another player who we expect to play college soccer at some point.
It looks like Hampton's trying to make something happen here.
Shot very wide to the net.
Yeah, another pretty wild shot there by Hampton.
It looks like we have some players coming back in. It looks like Camille Walker and
Emma Benetham in for the Mustangs. Jade Taw, Nina Kite off.
Looks like they're trying to keep it in bounds.
Still in play. Plum, Hampton throw in Plum territory.
very quick throw.
Yeah, you know, they're probably trying to catch the Mustangs off guard, trying to get in as quick as possible.
The biggest worry I have for the Mustangs is them falling into Hampton's game plan. I feel like the Mustangs possess the ball very well, but it's very easy to fall into the trap of going long and getting rid of the ball when there's some sort of pressure. I feel like they would just keep the ball, stay calm, possess it, look to find Caitlin and their strikers through. Should be fairly easy to find these gaps between the defense and midfield and break them down.
Yeah, you want the Mustangs to keep playing their game, not fall into playing the game that Hampton wants them to play.
Good through ball in.
A couple players over on the other side of the field really fighting for possession.
Very physical game.
As a couple of them went down during that.
Hampton free kick around Plum's 15-yard line.
This is very dangerous. All it takes is one person not marking their man correctly, and Hampton could tie it up.
One mental lapse and this game flips on its head. Ball just wide. Honestly, not a bad opportunity for the Talbots.
Right you are, Michael.
And I like that play by Marston. Even though she wasn't able to get the ball, it looked like her intentions were to just hit it down. Make sure she didn't, you know, try to catch it accidentally, get the wrong bounce. And, you know, that's the best they could have done there.
Bailey Walker also subbed in for the Mustangs and for Marissa Liberto.
This could be the Mustangs' chance to counterattack right here.
Yeah, Mustangs on the counter out to Julia Godet, who was also just subbed in. Big tackle again by the Hampton Talbots. Again, they are playing very physical, and you have to against a team like the Mustangs.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of these girls soccer games here at Plum High School this year, and this is easily the most physical I've seen a game get.
I also feel like the Mustangs might not be, I wouldn't say prepared, but they're not used to playing teams like this. They're, you know, you see scoreboards like 10-0
Yeah.
Mustang win. They really haven't been battle tested that much, so this is a bit different for them.
That being said, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from the Mustangs. They're definitely not backing down. They haven't been afraid of contact. They haven't been afraid to go play the game that needs to be played instead of just running over teams like they've done so often this year.
Sometimes playoff games are not all pretty in 7-0 wins. You're going to have to get gritty and, you know, put the tackles in and get physical and do this dirty work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but all that matters at the end of the game is who's winning on the scoreboard, and if the Mustangs can do that, then I'm pretty sure they'll do whatever it takes here tonight, even if that does mean changing their gameplay up a little bit from what they're used to.
Absolutely. Bailey Walker with a through ball in, collected by Hampton. Out wide, Camille Walker steps hard. Hampton's now going down the line. Great recovery speed by Camille Walker.
Wow, she is fast.
Yeah, she had her sights on the goal, and she just wasn't able to get it due to Walker's speed there.
Referee called that ball out. Mustangs fans not agreeing. Ball played into the middle here by Hampton. Hampton player has ended up on the ground.
Free kick for Hampton right on the edge of Plum's 18. There's another dangerous opportunity for the Hampton Talbots. Like we said prior, any mental lapse, miss mark can lead to a goal, and the momentum can flip like the flick of a switch.
Taking this kick here, looks like it is going to be
Number 19.
Jillian Antle. Right to the keeper.
Great save by Marston.
Yeah, honestly, a pretty good opportunity there for Hampton, but not the greatest shot in the world. Marston didn't really even have to move. It was just right at her.
Good tackle by Caitlin to stop a Hampton break. Hampton throw and Plum's 45-yard line.
Yeah, and as much as you don't want to give Hampton the possession here, that's the smartest play there because they had their sights set on the goal, and you just want to do anything you can to stop the momentum.
Yeah, the tides have definitely turned in this game from early when the Mustangs were dominating. Hampton's definitely starting to play a better game.
Plum throw on their own 15-yard line. Down to Caitlin, who loses possession.
You say so far this game that Hampton has outplayed Plum a little bit, and Plum's still leading on the scoreboard. So I think if you're Plum, if you can go into halftime still holding the lead, I'd consider that a big win. Go regroup at halftime, and then come bring your A game out in the second half. There's about 5 minutes left in the first half.
I mean, this is a great opportunity for Plum to counterattack. Hampton plays a very, very high press, almost like a sweeper-stopper type situation. Both fullbacks were all the way up the field. If you utilize Caitlin Killinger's speed out wide, I think she can beat that one defender in the back and have a shot on goal.
Hampton now putting the pressure on Plum's back line. Good stop by Emma Benetham. Clears it out.
Yet another chance stymied by the Mustangs defense there.
Few subs coming in for the Mustangs. Marissa Liberto, Ava Waleski, and Nina Kite all checking back into the game.
And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like, not that Plum hasn't played intense, but I feel like they've been bringing a lot more intensity now that Hampton's is kind of keeping it on Plum's side of the field.
Yeah, I can totally agree. They were playing a little like falling into Hampton's game, playing those direct long balls. Now they're starting to get their momentum back and play their game.
Yeah, it almost seemed like they were doing what we were afraid might happen, which was falling into the game that Hampton wanted them to play.
Ball served in by Hampton, collected by Marston again.
Yet another nice save there by Marston. She may just be a sophomore, but she is very good back there as goalie.
Looks like they're trying to fight for the ball back.
Good touch by number 24. Now Hampton's driving. Never mind. Kaylee with the clearance. Plum throw in their 25-yard line. Taken by Nina Kite.
Just over 3 minutes left in the first half of this game. Plum still maintaining a 1-0 lead.
Ball over the top to Madison Hurst, who's one-on-one with Tori Ruggiero in the corner. Beats Tori Ruggiero. Good step by Kaylee Simke to block a cross in. Corner for the Talbots.
That play kind of got the fans pumped up a little bit.
Like we said prior, and we'll keep saying it again and again, these set pieces that can be driven right at the goalie are very, very dangerous. Ball whipped in by Hampton.
Missed by just about everyone.
A few bodies on the floor there.
Yeah, Hampton not really able to do much there with that corner kick. They will maintain possession on the other side of the field, though. going to be a throw in by number 19, Jillian Antle.
Nina Kite has a throw in on the Plum 5-yard line.
That was kind of an interesting decision there on the throw in because they were double covered, and it looks like Mustangs will retain possession there.
Mustangs fighting for possession around the 25-yard line.
The Mustangs are struggling to keep possession. I don't know if it's the Hampton just high pressing and not letting their foot off the gas, but they are struggling to keep the ball. But then again, Hampton is also playing very direct.
Yeah, Hampton's definitely playing a very aggressive ball game. It seems to have shocked the Mustangs a little bit.
Marissa Liberto on the ball. Now back to Cammie Collins, who's looking for a through ball. Intercepted by Hampton's midfield.
Good combination play with Cameron and Caitlin. Unfortunately picked up by Hampton's midfield.
Cameron Rogers like a little Energizer bunny out there. It seems like every time you look at her, she's running at a full sprint.
Kaylee driving through, breaking some lines off the dribble. Now to Cammie Collins. Plays it through to Caitlin. Ava making the run through. Who finishes the goal? Well done by the Mustangs. See, as soon as they start playing possession, they play their game. They find a way to score.
That's Ava Waleski's second goal of the night. She has scored the only two goals of this game so far. 2-0.
46 seconds left in the first half. Hopefully this momentum can transfer into the second half.
It all started from Kaylee Simke breaking the line on the dribble. Played it through to Cammie Collins, who played it to Caitlin, slotted Ava through with the finish.
You know, I believe the biggest thing so far in the game for the Mustangs is their speed. You know, it's been very close, but once they were able to break away, it was just no one stopping them.
Yeah, it seems like the Mustangs have the 11 fastest players on the field tonight.
Out to Caitlin.
Mustangs looking to do something before the half ends with just over 10 seconds left.
Looks like Hampton just wants to keep on the other side there.
Late scare by the Talbots to finish the half. Well defended by Emily Barat, though. Keeps the 0 on the scoreboard for the Talbots. Very physical half by both teams.
So, in all, the Mustangs played a very good half. They seem to be shocked by Hampton's aggressiveness a little bit, but they're going into halftime with a 2-0 lead. They've played a very good ball game so far.
She actually wrote. She said, I'm dying.
Rachel Scott, the first to be gunned down at Columbine. Yet the year before she died, she wrote, "This will be my last year, Lord. Thank you."
We were stunned.
And after her death, that horrible day in 1999, her dad's phone rang.
I got a phone call from a man I'd never met, and he said, I don't know why I'm having this dream, but I wanted to talk to someone in Rachel's family just to see if maybe it meant something.
The dreams, the signs, Rachel's words.
I personally believe there's a divine touch to her story, because otherwise I can't explain it.
This is Rachel's story. Triumph over tragedy.
There is a student here with a gun. He has shot out a window. Okay, has anybody been injured, ma'am? Okay.
April 20th, 1999 is one of those dates in history.
And the school is in a panic, and I'm in the library. I've got students down under the table, sit. Hands under the table.
You know where you were when you heard about what was then the worst school shooting in U.S. history.
We have paramedics, we have fire, and we have police on route.
And in this never-before-seen video, you can feel the agony of parents like Daryl Scott, waiting and watching and wondering, would their child step off a school bus, their name be posted on a list as a survivor, or be a victim of a crime that would rock our world forever. Today, Columbine High School is no obvious signs of the tragedy that ended with 13 people gunned down. No signs, except for the memorial next to the school, a place of peace and some consolation to help our community heal.
I'm Ann Trujillo. I grew up in Littleton. I covered the Columbine tragedy, and I will never forget how we were all left hurting, and like you, left wondering what we as a community could do to make sure this kind of tragedy never, ever happens again. Denver 7 is partnering with Rachel's Challenge, our way of honoring the lives lost that day and being a catalyst for change in our Colorado community. It starts with the story of Rachel Scott, a lively 17-year-old always looking for ways to make people smile.
All right, well, before we can use a vending machine, first we have to find money.
Rachel was a writer. She kept diaries filled with words of inspiration, and some would say premonition. Rachel's family has found a way to take her words and use them to inspire millions around the world to start a chain reaction called Rachel's Challenge. You may not know about Rachel's Challenge. Chances are your kids do. It took her death to start that chain, and her father to share her words and carry on her legacy.
It wasn't something I planned. As I began to share Rachel's story, I realized the impact that it was having on other people.
Daryl Scott found purpose, and the invitations to speak just kept coming, and he kept saying yes. On the road 200 days a year, a way to keep Rachel's memory alive and to pay tribute to the other victims of Columbine.
In the early days, it was really hard, but because we were seeing the results we were seeing, I knew that I didn't have a choice. This was something that we had to do.
When he tells Rachel's story, people listen. Student groups, business groups, even prison inmates stop.
And the inmates are in tears. We have, tough murderers stand up bawling like a baby saying, I'm calling my daughter. For the first time in 20 years. I haven't talked to her for 20 years.
What is it about this message, Daryl? What is it that resonates with people?
I don't even know if I can answer that. I personally believe there's a divine touch to her story, because otherwise I can't explain it.
The year before the Columbine shooting, Rachel wrote down these words: "This will be my last year, Lord. I've gotten what I can. Thank you." She even told her close friends she would die young.
She was very explicit with some of them. She actually wrote, she said, I'm dying. Slowly my soul leaves, my body withers. It isn't suicide, I consider it homicide. The world you have created has led to my death.
And Daryl shares the words her family found on the back of her dresser in her bedroom, inside her handprint, where the then 13-year-old Rachel had written, "These hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts."
She wrote that she would die young, but she also wrote that her life would reach millions of lives, and the outline of her hands that she drew. These hands will touch the hearts of millions of people. And that's happened.
And that wasn't all that moved the Scott family. It was the words Rachel put down on a paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life, a paper her father and sister found.
Bethany and I sat down and read it. It was a month after Rachel died, so we were crying as we read it and thought this is the essence of who she was.
In that paper, Rachel challenged others to do 5 things. Look for the best in others, dare to dream, choose positive influences, use kind words, and start a chain reaction of kindness.
She was always for the underdog, and the stories we began to hear at her funeral of the kids that she reached out to just confirmed what we already knew about her.
Rachel's funeral was broadcast on CNN. Millions watched and cried with the rest of us. That's where story after story was told about Rachel. Stories her own family didn't even know. How Rachel went out of her way at school, reaching out to special needs students, new students, students who were picked on.
She was never ever afraid of being her own person. That's what she wanted to be. And I always admired that strength that she had.
And then this happened.
6 weeks after Rachel's funeral, I got a phone call from a man I'd never met. His name was Frank. He lived in Cincinnati, Ohio. And he said, Mr. Scott, you don't know me, we've never met, but he said, I've had something happen to me over the last 2 weeks that I can't explain. I've had a reoccurring dream for the last 2 weeks, and I have the same dream night after night. And I've told my family about it. I don't know why I'm having this dream, but I wanted to talk to someone in Rachel's family just to see if maybe it meant something.
I had this vision of the eyes of a girl, of a sweet girl, and out of those eyes were coming tears, and the tears were pouring to the ground, and something was beginning to grow out of the ground. Life was coming out of the ground.
And I told him, I'm sorry, Frank, that doesn't mean anything. And he said, would you please just write my name and phone number down and call me if it ever does.
It was a week later when the Scott family got a call from the Jeffco Sheriff's Department that they had Rachel's backpack ready to be picked up. A backpack the Scotts keep to this day in their home in what they call Rachel's Corner. Along with other memories of Rachel, there sits her backpack, the bullet hole still in it, Rachel's blood still on it. And that's when the most incredible thing of all happened.
I took out some of her school books, and there at the bottom was her final diary. I wanted to see the last thing Rachel had written. And I was just stunned because, I mean, think about it. You get a call from a man 1,500 miles away who says, I've had a dream, and he describes exactly what I'm looking at on the last page of my daughter's diary. And I counted the clear teardrops. There's 13 clear tears. And then they turn to dark drops. And it suddenly dawned on me, there's 13 people were killed at Columbine. Later I found out she drew this just before she was killed.
That's what Rachel drew the morning of April 20th, 1999, sitting in Mrs. Carruthers' class at Columbine High School.
Mrs. Carruthers said, Rachel, that's beautiful, what is it? And she said, Rachel really didn't answer me. She looked at me and said, Mrs. Carruthers, I'm going to have an impact on the world.
You put all those things together, and you can see why there was just something to Rachel's story that it had to get out. Rachel wrote, I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness can go. When we come back, how Rachel's story is going far and saving lives.
If you've ever seriously thought about committing suicide as a way to deal with your life, please cross the line.
We are back against for the Mustangs versus Hampton Talbots 3A second round WPIAL playoff game. So as Plum enters the field, 2-0 is a very, very dangerous lead in soccer. Yes, they are up, but one goal by Hampton shifts the entire momentum. So the next goal is very pivotal by both teams.
Yeah, it feels like if Hampton scores the next goal, all of a sudden Mustangs are going to kind of feel on their heels despite having the lead. Hampton's really going to be the aggressor, but if the Mustangs can score the next goal, it can really put the Mustangs really out in front, really let them take control of this ball game.
Like we said before, as long as the Mustangs just keep the ball, break them down, I don't see a way that they can lose this game, but anything can happen in playoff soccer.
Looks like it'll be out of bounds here.
Update in our other playoff games going around WPIAL right now. Mars is beating Oakland Catholic 5-0. And pretty big scores happening all around WPIAL.
Big game for you guys last night, Mike. I just want to jump on the headset and say congratulations. Good job with the boys soccer team last night.
Appreciate that, Mr.
Oh,
Barat.
Cam Rogers. Oh,
I thought that went in.
I thought it was when it hit the side of the net. I agree. It was there. And, you know, it seemed like when, I don't know if you guys talked about it, I was listening off and on in the first half. I mean, Plum got that early goal, and then it just seemed like Hampton hemmed them in. And, Mike, you know, because you've played Jake and Cam, you guys have played baseball. You know, you press, and all of a sudden you give up one after you dominated 20, 25 minutes. That hurts. Big time.
Hampton was very physical as soon as they lit up that goal. They tried to, I feel like they put everything they could, went very direct, kind of took it to the Mustangs a bit. And they were honestly playing, and they were the aggressor most of that half, but the Mustangs just bent. They did not break, and hopefully this second half will be more in favor of the Mustangs.
And you know the girls are playing with a player down, Annabelle Orange. She's in a boot over there on the sideline. So, you know, and you're missing. And now Cam Rogers is obviously a very good replacement, and she's one of the first subs, if not the first sub in. So, you know, the talent level doesn't drop.
Yeah, something we talked about earlier in this game is how the Mustangs, they're not just an 11 deep team. This team's got depth. This team has a lot of talent through their entire roster, and a lot of teams are only as strong as their weakest player, and that's why the Mustangs are a championship caliber team, because they don't even have any weak players.
You do lose that speed from Annabelle though, because she's a very quick player, very technical. Was able to finish the ball, but she just unlocked that long through ball over the top with her speed, which is very, very important and pivotal in the front line.
It seems like as the first half started here, guys, as you can see with the score stripe below, you know, we're just under 37 minutes. You know, Plum seems to be now hemming in Hampton.
Yeah, that looks like the game that the Mustangs are going to want to play is Mustangs keeping possession pretty deep on Hampton's side of the field. That's probably what's going to result in the best game for the Mustangs, help them extend their lead.
Good battle on the sideline. Plum retains possession, back out to Tori Ruggiero in the back line.
Good play by Emily Barat as they send it up to Cammie Collins. Oof. Just missed that feathered through pass.
And it's just as we saw now, you know, it seems like the Mustangs are winning a lot of those one-on-one battles.
Well done by Emma Benetham. Good battle on the sideline by her, number 11. Good tackle by Cammie Collins.
Real good tackle. Her sister got the second goal, correct, Michael?
Correct, yeah, she is both of them tonight.
Oh.
Looking for the third there, but no cigar.
I mean, we could make the joke that looked like it went through the uprights for 3, which happens plenty of times in soccer. But and if Plum does hold on to win tonight, they will, and as you guys have said, they will play the winner of Franklin, South Fayette.
And like we said before, South Fayette is up 1-0 on Franklin right now. Who are the underdogs in this game? Franklin coming into that game as the 3 seed. So it's quite interesting that they are down at halftime.
Yeah, well, just like Franklin last night. You told me today in class, Mike, down real early, first 10 minutes, down 2-0 to Kiski, and then won 6-3.
Yep, they were down 2-0 first 10 minutes. You know, same thing with us.
Sure.
You know, you look to close that game out and see it through, but when you have a high-powered offense like Colton Hudson and Anthony DeFalco on that Franklin front line, it's very hard to keep them at bay.
A lot of contact there around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I don't.
Number 10, Ava Waleski, is down.
Shaken up.
Yeah, she. I think she kind of drew that all. I think she. Mike, you tell me if I'm wrong there. She kind of. I mean, she dove into that girl, jumped into her. I mean, she went down and didn't get up. I mean, her not popping up kind of like an indication to the ref, like
a little extra rolling around a bit there. Got to sell the foul.
No doubt.
In true soccer fashion, she appears to be fine about 10 seconds later.
Yeah, all you have to do is take one for the team sometimes.
Sophie Kelly picks the ball up
Yeah, number 20, Sophie Kelly. She's a B-Link player. Emily's played with her. She's a really good player.
Hampton looks to be on the break. Hampton's winger cuts inside. Good tackle by Nina Kite. Tori Ruggiero on the ball on the far right side of the field.
Now, I don't know if you guys mentioned number 19 for the Talbots is Jillian Antol. She played Arsenal with Emily also. She's going to RIT, actually. I'm friends with her parents, so and that's where Gavin Monick, last year's students up at RIT also. So that's the Rochester Institute of Technology. So that's a very good academic school. So congratulations to Jillian.
I assume she's playing soccer up there
yes,
too,
she
right?
is.
Yep.
Yes. And the parents told me they actually went up to see a couple games, actually. So
a lot of talent on this field tonight by both teams. Like we said, we've mentioned Emma Benetham committing to UPJ and Tori committing to Edinburgh. And now some of Hampton's players committing as well, which is just fantastic. And altogether just creates a great atmosphere for soccer.
Yeah, coming out of the half, Hampton has not let up on the physicality at all.
I do think Plum has changed up their game plan a bit. They are finally resorting back to the way that they know how to play, which is knocking the ball around. But the physicality aspect that Hampton brings is just very hard to adapt to.
Hampton trying to retain possession around the 50-yard line.
Hampton throwing. Down the line, Tori Ruggiero on Madison Hurst back.
Looks like the Mustangs will have the ball here.
Oh, 22 hard in the back of Cammie Collins. Like we will keep mentioning it, this Hampton team will continue to be very physical. And especially being down 2-0, they have to be.
The Mustangs just need to take advantage of that. Their physical play has caused a lot of fouls and caused a lot of turnovers. So the Mustangs really need to just keep that going and make them pay for their mistakes.
Yeah, that's one thing that Hampton needs to probably worry about is taking it from playing physical to maybe something a little farther that's going to result in fouls being called, and instead of it working to your advantage, it being a disadvantage for your team.
Well done tracking back by Hurst. Came all the way back from winger to stop a Plum counterattack. But another thing that comes with physicality is, being a soccer player myself, not wanting to get hit all the time and having to worry about someone being on my back is very, very stressful at times. Well, so just that fear factor that being physical brings can be very intimidating, especially in this type of game.
Well, that's the position the Mustangs want to be in, is Caitlin Killinger running down the field with the ball at her feet. So just because it didn't work out does not mean that's not what the Mustangs are trying to do every time they have the ball.
Good opportunity nonetheless, regardless if it resulted in a goal or not.
That's exactly right, Michael. Plum throw in here. Tori Ruggiero back to, that looks to be Kaylee Simkew. She's playing the ball up towards midfield. She's going to kick it up to Marissa Liberto, who falls. Long ball looking for Cameron Rogers right there. Hampton's going to try and play the ball up towards midfield. Number 11 of Hampton working against Cammie Collins.
Hampton throw-in. I would also like to mention that I think I see some of the Hampton boys soccer team here who just won against Mars last night. They went up 1-0 the first 10 minutes. Were able to hold the lead the whole rest of the game, so congrats to them. They will face Franklin Regional in the 3A WPIAL semifinal on Monday, I believe.
Yeah, so the 3A boys playoffs, with all due respect to all the teams, have been kind of boring. It's going to be the 1 versus the 4 seed and the 2 versus the 3 seed in the semifinal. So kind of how everyone predicted it, but I guess that's why they're seeded that way. Put the best 4 teams in the top 4 positions. That means we're going to get some good soccer games here whenever those 4 teams play each other.
As much as you'd like to see an underdog win every now and then, you know, I feel like it's a lot more exciting. Like how you said, the best teams are playing, you know, and I feel like it's going to be really pure and really exciting to watch.
Well, believe me, I think everyone up here are going to be rooting for the underdog in at least one semifinal game. At least the outsiders are calling him an underdog. I'll tell you what. I have the Plum boys soccer team up against anyone.
Big chance by Hampton. Sophie Kelly with the opportunity right at the 10-yard line. Just crept it past the left post.
That's going to be a Plum goal kick.
Mustangs are honestly very lucky to get out of that unscathed.
Yeah, as we said when this half started, it's all about who can get that next goal, and there was a big shot there for Hampton. Here's Julie Gilday playing the ball down the middle of the field.
Plays it back to Tori Ruggiero, a little 1-2. Unfortunately did not work out. Again, tracking back is Hurst. Now Hampton is on the counter. Picked up by Nina Kite.
Nina Kite up to Cammie Collins, who's playing it through the middle of the field, looking for Caitlin Killinger.
Hampton now picks it up in their own end. They play it out wide. Now down the line on the 50-yard line. Plum throw in their own end.
With a lot of purple on their side of the field, this could be something they can take an opportunity of.
After the throw-in, goes right back out of bounds. Another Hampton throw-in here.
Long ball by Hampton, collected by Kaylee. Turnover by Kaylee now. Hampton is on the attack.
Nice play there by Kaylee Simke to get the ball out of Hampton's possession.
Clearance by Ava Waleski.
Another Hampton throw-in around the 30-yard line.
That's another good play, trying to stop their momentum going downfield.
Cammie Collins not being afraid to get physical.
They are calling the foul against Plum.
I would be very interested to know what the referee's call was on that one.
Beats me. But I do not see how that was on Cammie, but good ball in, collected by Emma Benetham. Cleared by Tori Ruggiero.
Despite the foul being called on the Mustangs, not much hurt there as Cammie Collins going to play a long ball up through the middle. Going to be collected by Hampton or just beyond the 20-yard line.
Speaking of Cammie Collins, I would just like to add she's been playing fantastic tonight. She's been getting involved physically and possessing the ball. She's turned a few of the defenders and just finding everyone's feet and just been controlling the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems like anytime Hampton has controlled the ball around her, at least once they get to around Cammie, they don't control the ball for much longer. She's around. There's Tori putting the moves on.
Cleared out by Emily Barat. Ball out to Nita again. Attempted clearance. Trickles out to Hampton around Plum's 40-yard line.
Bit of an aggressive play there by Ava Waleski.
I don't know if it's me, but I feel like she's always falling. But it's just because, I don't know if it's just because I'm her brother, but.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're watching your own sibling, you know, you kind of point out everything that they do. So, I mean, I'm not surprised.
It's a little bit of brotherly love there.
They just stick out like a sore thumb.
It's constructive criticism.
If that's the way you want to play it, absolutely.
Hampton with a solid offensive chance there, but good play by multiple Plum defenders.
Hampton corner. And like we've talked about this all night, these corners, set pieces, free kicks, extremely dangerous.
Also, you have to give the Mustangs a lot of credit. You know, there's a lot of times where Hampton could have scored, but they're, you know, staying focused, they're regathering, and they're able to stop any kind of momentum.
Skips right off to the other side.
Plum goal kick.
Yeah, as I'm sure Michael knows being a defender when he plays soccer himself, that 0 up on the scoreboard, although Marston has played a fantastic game and taken nothing away from her. That 0 on the scoreboard's not just her. It means the Plum defenders have played a pretty fantastic game so far. And then when they have let anything get through, Marston's been there to gobble anything up that's been near. Ball played around midfield by Marissa Liberto, intercepted by Hampton. Played up top around the 10-yard line.
Emily Barada and Sophie Kelly well defended, out for a corner. I would like to add again that these Hampton fullbacks are pressing up very high, intercepting any balls played out to the wingers. They're just playing a very, very aggressive game, as you mentioned time and time again.
Yeah, it looks like they had a game plan set. Obviously, they're in a tough matchup against a one-loss team, and I think they're kind of holding their own despite being down by 2.
Sophie Kelly gets ahead in the corner, trickles out to number 23 on Hampton.
Cross into the middle.
Back in.
Cleared, but
own goal by Nina Kite. Anything could happen on crosses, and unfortunately that just took a bad bounce, and Camille Walker is also coming on for Nina Kite. This game has been completely flipped on its head. Like we said, 2-0 is very dangerous. Now it is 2-1 with 23 minutes left in the game. Let's see if the Mustangs can hold on to their lead. Ball out to Tori Ruggiero. Ball played down the line.
Looks like Hampton will have possession. That was a good play by the Mustangs. Get away from the other side of the field there. It looks like it'll be out. I believe the Mustangs will throw it in here.
Camille Walker to take it on Hampton's 35-yard line. Emma Benetham on the ball. Turns again to the midfield. Intercepted by Hampton. Cleared by Hampton. Plum throw around Hampton's 40-yard line.
Throw in by Plum. Team's fighting for possession. Ball kicked out to around the 50-yard line.
Good step by Emily Barad to break down that counterattack. That was definitely brewing by the Hampton Talbots. Hurst, so much time and space to turn and drive at the defense. At the 20-yard line now, getting sought out by Kaylee Simkew.
Nice play there by Kaylee Simkew. Stopping the shot from getting anywhere near the net.
It's been a long time since I played soccer, but a play like that had to have hurt.
Which play? The own goal or the defensive stop by Kaylee?
The defensive stop.
Oh, yeah. Throwing your body around is always not the best thing to do, but sometimes you have to sacrifice it for your team and the betterment of not letting a goal up.
I feel like I've said it a million times tonight, but yet another shot swallowed up there by Marston. She really has been a brick wall tonight.
This is one of the few teams that the Lady Mustangs have played that has really tested their keeper. Other than, I would say, probably Oakland Catholic and Norwin. Megan hasn't had many shots against.
Ava Waleski and Jade Todd now coming into Plum's midfield.
Yeah, but what you were saying, Matt, like, honestly, a lot of times Marston won't even face shots in games, so we didn't really know how good she was back there. It's good to see that she's playing a very good game when she's being tested. Show that, I mean, it's nice when we don't need her, but when we do need her, she's definitely up to the task.
If you can go an entire game without the keeper touching the ball with her hands, you know your entire defensive line did a great job.
Plum almost with an opportunity there.
Going to be a throw in here for the Mustangs around the 5-yard line.
Cami Collins on the ball and Hampton's 18.
Good turn.
Cami putting the moves on. Blocked shot. Good shot for the Mustangs.
Great chance by the Mustangs.
Another great shot by Ava Waleski.
The shot was just a little wide. It's going to be a goal kick, Hampton.
It looks like they're going to kick it here right around midfield. Looks like they're trying to gain some momentum themselves after their first goal of the game.
Looks like one of the Hampton players is a bit shaken up around midfield. Kaylee Simtu drives through Hampton's front line off the dribble, finds Cameron Rogers, now picks it up again, plays it out to Ava, who leaves it for Caitlin. Now Ava down the line. Serves the ball in. Marissa Liberto heads the ball over the net.
That was a really good cross there by the Mustangs.
Yeah, and honestly, that's all you could really do there. I mean, you're not in a position where you can kick it in, and you got to use whatever you can, and unfortunately that was a little bit high there.
Just go use anything but your arms. As long as you don't use your arms, you're good. I would also like to add, I feel like the Mustangs have responded very well after that goal that was let up. I feel like they've been the aggressor now. I feel like that goal that they let up was a bit of a slap in the face, saying they can't take their foot off the gas yet.
Yeah, like you're saying, Michael, this game is far from over.
18 minutes left in the second half.
Mustangs still maintaining a 2-1.
Hampton free kick on their own 40-yard line.
Picked up by Emily Barat.
Attempted clearance by Jade Taw. Picked up by Hampton again. Sophie Kelly on the ball on the right wing. Takes it down the line.
Kind of just going to let it go out of bounds there.
Hampton throwing right around the 5-yard line.
Oh, nope. Plum throwing. No, never mind. My bad.
Just switching people to throw.
Some Hampton substitutions now.
Hampton to throw the ball in. Goal kick, Plum.
Yeah, you could see they tried to keep it in. They're just so close to the goal, but fortunately for Plum, they're able to retain possession here.
Kelly Sims, you take the goal kick.
Picked up by Hampton's midfield.
Jay Tall on the ball. Now Cami Collins. Pass it to Caitlin. Through ball to Cameron.
Good ball by Caitlin.
There's some great combination play overall in the midfield.
Good defensive play by number 23 on Hampton. Caitlin's now driving. Off the crossbar. Marissa Liberto there.
Yes! And finish from Melissa Roberto.
Nice finish there by Marissa Liberto, but
what a wild play.
Honestly, that started around Plum's 20-yard line with multiple different people grabbing the ball.
Yeah,
and then it was ended by Caitlin Killinger running up the middle of the field, taking a shot that was just barely stopped by the keeper, and then Marissa Liberto being in perfect position to just play it right back at the goal. And with the keeper on the ground, there really wasn't much she could do except watch it roll right into the net.
I mean, that just shows you why it's always important to follow up a shot, because that keeper, instead of catching it, hit it out, and Marissa was right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rebound in basketball. You know, the shot's not over until you know it's over. So you got to make sure you're fully aware so that you can get anything possible in case it does fail.
Just a little over 15 minutes left in the game.
After the goal, a little bit of a sloppy start here for Hampton. Ball played by Kaylee Simke around the 25, up to Emma Benetham.
If I've ever played soccer, now being two goals down, if I'm Hampton, I'm pressing very hard and going very direct.
Yeah, in these last 15 minutes, I would expect Hampton to, even though they've been aggressive all night, to up the aggressiveness even more, try and really press the Mustangs, try and make them make a mistake. That way Hampton can take advantage of it. That's going to be a difficult ask, though, for Hampton because the Mustangs are a very technically sound team. They seem to do everything right. So,
a little score update from the Franklin and South Fayette game. Franklin has tied it up 1-1 with 25 left to play, and the winner of the Franklin-South Fayette game will go on to face the winner of Hampton and Plum. Big kick by Marston. Collected by Rogers.
I believe the ref was calling a high kick on Cameron there.
Yeah. Like I said, very direct by Hampton right off the jump.
They're just hoping for a mistake in the back from Plum.
Yep.
Yeah, and with some of the players
Good feet by Cammie Collins there.
the Mustangs have back there, I don't know if a mistake's going to come very, very easily. I mean, they have 2 college commits back there. Another player that I'd put a lot of money on saying is probably going to commit to a college here soon. So definitely some high-level players back there for the Mustangs.
I would also like to mention that whenever Hampton plays the ball long, they just go with the snap of their fingers. They don't wait for any of their players to press up. It's very just quick, and like you said, they're just hoping for a lucky bounce and for something to trickle through. It's just very rushed, I feel like, and I don't think it will be very successful, but like we saw what happened with the goal, bounced off the crossbar, trickled right in off of Marissa Liberto's redirect. Anything can happen at any time, so.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. It's just I almost feel like with 13 minutes left, banking on a mistake happening twice is, I don't know, I wouldn't say the best strategy here from Hampton.
I honestly could not agree more.
Because, I mean, a mistake happens, but having 2 mistakes like that happen to a high-quality soccer team like the Lady Mustangs in such a short amount of time, I'd change up my strategy a little bit if I were the Talbots.
I would also like to mention the needs to be very careful around their box. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the Talbots tried to attempt to take a dive. It's very common in soccer. I know we get made fun of for flopping, but it is a part of the game, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something happen here.
And soccer's not the only game where, you know, that's a possibility there. So, I mean, as whatever you can to help your team and help your team win, you know, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I mean, with the way rules have changed in a lot of other sports, that's become almost a part of every sport nowadays, with the rules in basketball, new roughing the passer rules in football, and even some plays around the base in baseball. So it's went from being a thing that soccer players get made fun of to that now that everyone does it in every sport, you start to see the art of it instead of just the comedy.
It looks like they're trying to fight to keep it in bounds here.
Battle for possession around midfield. Hampton's going to win that battle, at least temporarily. Ball played up to around the 20-yard line. Kicked out by number 31, Emily Barrott.
Looks like they're going to throw it in here. Mustang's just trying to keep it on the other side of the field.
Overall, this has been a big week for Plum sports all around. We had a playoff game for soccer last night, the girls' first playoff game Monday, girls' volleyball playoff win last night, and tomorrow night we have the last section game for football, and they have to win to advance to the playoffs.
Yeah, not to mention there's been not just a lot of games have been played by Mustang sports teams, but there's been a lot of winning done also. Mustangs girls soccer team played on Monday. They won. Then the girls volleyball team and the men's soccer team both won their games last night. The Lady Mustangs are leading this game 3-1 with about 10 minutes left. So let's hope the Mustangs football team can just keep riding that wave of a lot of success for Mustang sports teams.
It's a huge pride thing for the Mustangs. You know, they have a lot of winning teams in so many different sports, and it's just unbelievable how much success Plum has had in all those sports.
Yeah, we have the three-peat for both boys and girls soccer section champs, back-to-back section champs for girls volleyball, and a chance for the Mustang football team to make playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I remember last year was jokingly called the year of the Mustang because we hadn't seen success like that for sports teams around Plum in a long time, but it went from last year being like a shocking one-time thing to it almost feels like teams are starting to set that precedent because it wasn't just teams in the fall, but there were teams in the spring that also had a lot of success, like our girls lacrosse team and our baseball team. Just seems like a lot of Plum teams are doing a lot of winning within the last couple of years. Something you love to see if you're a Mustang sports fan.
Hopefully we just bring home a few WPIAL titles, maybe state.
Yeah,
High ambitions.
Those titles have been the one thing missing, but I definitely think some of these Mustang teams have the chops to do it this year, especially the team we're watching right now with this girls soccer team.
Looks like it's a goal kick for the Mustangs. We have Nina Kite coming back in and Marissa Liberto back in up top. Goal kick picked off by Hampton's midfield.
See, I believe that's one of the mistakes Hampton was banking on, but still not able to capitalize. And with a little under 10 minutes now left to go, that's something Hampton almost needed to capitalize on there. Ball headed by Hampton directly out of bounds. That'll be a throw-in for Plum by number 6, Tori Ruggiero. Ball played down the side by Cammie Collins. Picked off by Hampton. Ball going the other way now. Hampton has possession right around midfield. Plays a ball deep. Good play there by Emily Barat to end Hampton's rush. Quick throw in by Hampton.
Again, that was another stop by the Mustangs and what looked to be a situation for them to score.
Attempted clearance by Emily Barat. Hampton's going to retain possession right around the 35-yard line. Look to reset up their offense. Ball picked off there by Caitlin Killinger. Played up the middle to an open Cameron Rogers. Good play by Hampton's defender, though.
Yeah, again, it's really hard to beat someone like Cameron Collins there in terms of speed, and that was a good play by Hampton to be able to maintain that and just force it out of bounds.
Yet another fight for possession and yet another Cammie Collins victory. Couple of students starting to cheer for the Mustangs as this game gets closer to winding down.
And I just got the word from Mr. Barat. If Plum does win here, it will be the third year in a row that Plum will eliminate Hampton in the playoffs.
You almost want to say that that's a rivalry, but rivalries usually have some winning done on both sides, so more of just some pure domination from the Mustangs.
When people say the Steelers and the Browns are a rivalry.
I could not agree with you more, Michael. They won one playoff game in the last 20 years, and you would think they won the Super Bowl.
How many times have they been to the Super Bowl?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's zero.
I think. Yes, correct.
Someone said not to get sidetracked. Someone gave me a trivia question. There's two teams I think that have never been in the Super Bowl. You did. Who are they? The Browns and who else? Texans. No, the Panthers. Texans. Yeah, Texans. I think. Jake, you know? Am I wrong? Did the Vikings never? They lost. Texans, Jags, Lions, Browns. They have 4 teams that's never been in the
Well, after talking about the NFL, we have a trivia question for you Mustangs fans. There have been 2 teams in the NFL that have 4 teams that have never made the Super Bowl or never won a Super Bowl. Never been in a Super Bowl in NFL history.
Man, the Browns are just the literal worst.
As we've said, one of them are the Browns. We'll give you Mustangs fans a little bit of time to think about it. We'll give you the answer to the other 3 teams at around 3 minutes left in the game.
And yes, one of them, I repeat, is the Cleveland Browns. I cannot stress that enough.
The Cleveland Browns, not a rival of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Just to make that very clear, they are not a rival of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, to refocus on the game, Hampton's going to possess the ball around their own 40. Played up through the middle. Nice play by the Mustangs defenders. Cameron Rogers fighting for possession. My apologies. Hampton winning that battle, taking the ball up through midfield.
Right now it looks like the Mustangs are just trying to do whatever they can on defense. Don't let it get to a 1-goal game here. And with 5 minutes left, the score still remains Mustangs 3, Hampton 1. That was a good kick there as Mustangs are looking to keep it on their side of the field here.
Played up the middle by Marissa Liberto, looking for Cameron Rogers, but nothing much doing there.
I just feel like this Hampton team is completely out of gas with 4.5 minutes left in this game.
Michael, you're correct, because they just continue to put pressure, and say that. You can say, and they have nothing to show for it. And that defeatist attitude.
They just seem so defeated. They continue to put pressure and press the Mustangs, but they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, at that point, when you're putting so much intensity and so much into doing that, you're going to get tired quickly, and that's what it looks like has happened to Hampton as the Mustangs have just been dominating after their first goal.
Great tackle by Emma Bennett. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jake, but
no, don't worry about it.
Fantastic.
Marissa Liberto looking for Cameron Rogers.
23 to break what I thought was a guaranteed shot on goal, but was I mistaken?
No, that was just definitely a very good play there by Hampton.
Yeah, kind of proving us wrong about being gassed on that play there.
And despite what the score says, I mean, I know it's a 3-1 Mustangs lead, but I think Hampton's played pretty well tonight. I just think it speaks to the caliber of team that the Mustangs are, that Hampton has not played a bad ball game at all, and Mustangs are still up 3-1. And it honestly hasn't felt very close, at least since the second half started.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those games where, Hampton did everything they could to win this game, and it's just the Mustangs are just way too talented.
Yeah, whenever it's an 11-on-11 game like soccer, and Mustangs probably have 8 or 9 of the most talented players on the field, you really can't compete with that if you're Hampton.
I would just like to mention, it's just so noticeable now how easy the Mustangs are able to break through this Hampton back line. They just look so defeated. There's so much space.
Yeah, I think that speaks to what you were saying earlier, just how tired and how much effort Hampton's given all game. They don't really have much more to give.
Looks like they'll just force out of the bounds there.
Nice little start the buses chant by the Mustang student section.
Mustangs letting the Talbots know that they're probably not going to be cruising out of here with a win tonight.
I'm a fan of the term, it's not over till a fat lady sings, and I'm no fat lady, but I might start singing. Yes, correct.
Well, I don't know if we want to hear you sing, but I know my son's watching it. My son's watching the broadcast with all the Waynesburg soccer players, so maybe they want to hear you sing. I don't know.
Zach, to you guys back at Waynesburg, I will hit a high note right now for you guys.
Shout out to the Waynesburg soccer team and Zach Barrett,
who is a former Plum boys soccer player. We had a very successful career here.
He was also part of the TV productions cast, so he did exactly what we're doing at times. I mean, while we have the time, shout out at Plum TV Productions on Twitter, Rick Barrett. He has a Fago collection if anyone wants to send us Fagos.
Yes.
Only the 24-ounce, though.
Yeah, the bottles.
24-ounce bottles.
He did start collecting cans. I did notice that. There's a few cans in there.
Yeah, but I do believe I heard him say that it's not marked off the collection if it's a can. It has to be a 24-ounce bottle.
Do you think I would get cut from his class if I were to drink one of them?
I've heard if you drink one of his Fagos, getting cut from his class would be the least of your worries.
Yeah, he pushed for you being expelled, honestly. I mean, it's very important.
Do we dare push the limits?
I think you'd be lucky to get out of there with your life if you drank one of his Fagos. All jokes, obviously. But Mr. Barrett does take his Fago collection very seriously. And with just a little over a minute left, this game is wrapping up here between another shout out to Alex Anderson and the Duquesne girls. They're watching this broadcast too. A lot of shout outs here. If anyone listening knows Mr. Barrett, you know he knows all of Western Pennsylvania.
And then some, maybe some Ohio too.
One final shout out. I'd like to take this time and shout out Haribo Gummy Bears. Get them at your local supermarket today.
Were we paid for that?
They are our one and only sponsor that we have for this evening.
We eat the cherries religiously around here. Those are the official snack of Plum TV Productions.
It's funny, we had those in our locker room yesterday, so Hasbro is pretty darn good if you ask me.
I mean, it's just good luck. What can we say?
Hey, Mike. How's it doing? Johnny here. I just wanted to hop on the mic the last couple seconds of this game and let you know that the Browns are 3-1, and the Steelers are 1-3. Just wanted to let you know.
In what? In what are you?
I'm sorry, not 3-1, but the Browns have a better record than the Steelers.
Yeah, because the Steelers have a bye week. Hold this conversation. Game is over. 3-1 Mustangs. We are waiting on the score of the Franklin and South Fayette game to see who will progress to meet the Mustangs in the semifinal. Congratulations to them. But getting back to what Johnny was saying.
That gives me a perfect.
Yeah, Mike. I just wanted to talk to you. I mean, realistically, I think the Browns are a better team than the Steelers this year.
I think we might have to.
To wrap up the NFL talk, the trivia question I asked you guys earlier was which 4 teams have never played in a Super Bowl in the NFL? We told you one of those teams was the Browns, and the other teams were the Lions, the Texans, and the Jaguars. And now we're going to hand it over to Michael to wrap up the game.
Before we talk about the game, I would just like to add that the South Fayette and Franklin game is heading into overtime. So we will see.
That is who the winner of. That is who the Mustangs will play. The winner of that game. They will play them in the semifinals. So Michael, give me your thoughts about how the Mustangs played tonight, how Hampton played tonight, just everything in general for this game.
So Hampton came into this game. I feel like they knew they were not better technically and skilled as the Plum Mustangs were. I mean, you look at the roster.
I hate to interrupt you, Michael, but before you finish your analysis, this is the last time these Lady Mustang seniors will play on this field. So shout out to them because after this, playoff games are played at a neutral site. So I just wanted to get that out there. Sorry to cut you off, Michael, but keep going.
No worries. I would also like to add that after I'm done wrapping up the game, we have a few questions. Stewart and Emily Barrett and Abel Oleski, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Hampton came into this game very physical. I feel like they knew that they weren't the better team technically, so they tried to play very direct, hoping for that mishap, which unfortunately did happen for the Mustangs. They had that own goal by Nina Kite, which had no effect on the game since the Mustangs won. But yeah, you know, they came in very physical, hitting some bodies after the play, you know, which is, I mean, very smart because you don't know how going when you play against the Mustangs. You know, oh, you see 10-0, like we've said in the past, 10-0. Oh, they don't know how to take a hit or whatever, but they handled that very well. I feel like the Mustangs kind of stuck to their game a bit. They kind of strayed away at times, but ultimately they came away with the win, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, the Mustangs win this game 3-1 to advance to the semifinals with a victory over the Hampton Talbots. And in a few minutes, we will have both a coach and a player interview. So,
yeah, and on the game recap you guys mentioned, I couldn't agree with you guys more. I mean, Hampton, they did everything they could to win, and like we've said, you know, the Mustangs are definitely the more talented team, and sometimes whenever, you know, you're not like maybe as ranked as high as the other team, you're just doing everything you can to win. Sometimes you still end up on the short end of the stick, and Mustangs, just with their talent alone, I believe was really the main factor. And obviously their speed, of course, because they beat a lot of their players one-on-one and were able to get some goals that, you know, maybe not every team could have done if they weren't as fast as the Mustangs. So you just can't say enough about how talented the Mustangs are, and that's going to be definitely an emphasis point on other teams kind of trying to look at film and everything. They're going to see the athleticism on every person on that field. So definitely a good win for the Mustangs, and it's going to be exciting to see how they do moving forward.
yeah, so overall, a very good game by the Mustangs to advance to the next round of the playoffs. But before we get to those player interviews, we're gonna give you a little pregame of our next broadcast, which is going to be the Plum Mustangs football team versus the Greensburg Salem football team here tomorrow at this field Friday night. Mustangs have a couple very good players, including Eric Moore, who is a player who's garnered Division I interest from some of the best teams in the country, including the number 2 ranked team in the country, Cincinnati, a perennial powerhouse in Penn State, and a team that's ranked in the top 25 with a possible Heisman candidate at the helm in Pitt with Kenny Pickett. So Mustangs definitely have some talent on that team, and they're gonna need that talent to play very well tomorrow if they want to make the playoffs, because although it isn't a win and you're in situation, the Mustangs have to win their game, and they need a little bit of help from Hampton beating – team slipping my mind at the moment, but Hampton needs to win their game and Plum win their game, and it'll allow Hampton and Mars the teams that play. Thank you, Matt. If Hampton can beat Mars and Plum can beat Greensburg Salem, that will result in a playoff berth for the second consecutive year for your Plum Mustangs. Mustangs football team has struggled a little bit this year, but they've won when it counts. They did get a win taken away from them because of an ineligible player playing against Mars and that getting reported to the WPIAL. That caused a little bit of confusion for the Mustangs football team, but I mean, every team has to play with some adversity. You just kind of got to keep rolling.
Yeah, you know, definitely the biggest game for most, if not all, these football players' lives. You know, this is definitely something to set the tone. Obviously, the Mustangs didn't have the start they wanted to, starting out, I believe, 1-4, and now they really turned around their season and a potential playoff spot. So, you know, it's good to see the Mustangs kind of figure everything out, and they're looking as good as they've been in the previous year, where they had double-digit wins, I believe, made the playoffs. So, you know, it's definitely good to see that improvement, and I'm definitely excited to see the Mustangs tomorrow.
Yeah, the Mustangs have played very good football as of late, especially a couple weeks ago. They went into Highlands, beat at the time Highlands team that had one loss, beat them in their own building. Very surprising game, but they've played very well. Mustangs have continued to play well over the last couple of weeks and have put themselves from a pretty bad position, losing the first 3, to now in the playoff hunt.
Straying away from Plum football a bit, Hampton boys soccer team was just sitting right in front of us talking to one of our own players, Kyle Ryan. Like we mentioned, I think previously, they faced Mars last night, had a 1-0 win, and now they're going on to play Franklin Regional in the semifinal. But they are very good, as well as this Hampton team was, but unfortunately this one could not come on top.
You know, Hampton's also a team that is known for their sports like we are in terms of winning, so definitely not surprising to see, you know, both soccer teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, Plum Soccer, we kind of struggled early. It was kind of a rough start. And, you know, we play West A coming up in the semifinal, and we have a kind of a rough history with them. Only lost 7-1. So, you know, that was kind of, as bad as that may sound, I feel like it was a very good learning experience for us. After that game, we kind of got our stuff sorted. We've been on a tear ever since. You know, obviously losing 7-1 is demoralizing if we're being honest here, but I feel like it wasn't for that loss, we wouldn't be in the position we were at today.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you guys are definitely a little bit of a young team. Every young team faces some adversity. You got to take it as a learning experience, which I think you guys have, because since then you guys have been a lights out soccer team. I mean, honestly, everyone you've played hasn't really even touched you, except for a little hiccup at Franklin Regional, and then you guys came back and beat them 4-1. So I still think our soccer team should be ranked higher, but that's my own little
debate for another time.
That's a debate for another time.
When you look at West A, though, you see their whole lineup's 18-year-old seniors, and we're coming in with, you know, we got some 14-year-olds, we got some sophomores, but, you know, so I think a little redemption story never hurt anyone, so hopefully it'll be a good game.
Yeah, so enough about the guys' soccer team. No one wants to hear about that at the moment. We have a couple girls' soccer players that are coming in to join us. We have Emily Barat and Ava Waleski joining us.
As well as Coach Jamie Stewart. Well, just want to start by saying congratulations all three of you guys on the win tonight. Very hard-fought battle against a tough Hampton squad. So I'm going to start off with Coach Stewart. Obviously, you're the head of the ship of this team, and you set the plans, you set the game plans, talk strategy, whatnot. But it has been brought to my attention that you let the players talk about the half before you do. So talk to me about the reasoning for letting your players take the reins at halftime.
Well, so Mike, I think the big thing really is, you know, they need to talk about what they see on the field. You know, we see things as coaches, but they see things as players. And I think it's important for them to have that time to clear the air, talk about whatever they need to talk about. And then we come in, and then we talk about what we are seeing and what changes we think they need to make in the second half. But I think that time for them, I learned that from one of my previous coaching stints, and I think it really helps them talk about whatever is important to them.
I couldn't agree more, and obviously when the players on the field, they see different things than you do, so I couldn't agree more with that, and I 100% agree with that philosophy. Moving on to Emily, being a centerpiece of that Mustangs defense and back line, or more specifically a center back, how were you able to keep your players' heads in the game after you guys let up that unlucky goal?
Well, it was just about motivating the teammates. Like, they get kind of upset when it's a self-goal and it's upsetting, but to just be like, we can do this, let's go. It's just one. We still have a lead. Let's just get it back. It's just about motivation to keep working hard, just keep trying.
Yeah, I assume, like, when you guys don't face a lot of adversity, you guys are obviously very sound defensively and don't have to worry about anything like that, but it's very good that you guys are able to figure it out, you know, and we're able to actually answer and get one back, which was very impressive. Finally, we're going to go into Ava. 2-goal game. Break us down the play, how it led up to your thought process.
I mean, the second goal, it was great chemistry from me and Caitlin and my center mids. Saw the opening, made the run, and Caitlin just fed me in, got a touch in.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know you and Caitlin, Kaylee, even Emily at one point, you guys have all played together. You guys have grown up. The chemistry, and that's what we mentioned before, the chemistry of this team is just unbreakable, and I feel like that is very underlooked and is going to feel like really push you guys to go really far. Answering some of these questions. Good luck in the next round.
All right, thanks for doing this tonight, guys. Really appreciate it, and you know, we're looking forward to Tuesday against whoever we face, and you know, good luck to the boys team as well. They got their important game on Monday. TBD where that's going to be, but that'll be a tough match against West A. So good luck to you guys.
Appreciate that, Coach.
All right,
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.